Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new podcast episode. My voice is a bit squeaky and weird. I'm sick, but at the same time, I felt extremely motivated to create something for you and go deep diving into this podcast. I actually were reflecting on storytelling and how, in a way, it feels like in the marketing area this has been set up into the best kept secret in some ways. And also, I feel like actually storytelling has changed into messaging that became so diluted. So we kind of feeling extremely challenged by what is messaging and maybe working on our messaging every single day and tweaking something without actually working forward and creating something from that. And storytelling has been selling for all time, convincing people through storytelling. And we were saying, we were uh, even around the fire, like thousands of years ago, people will tell stories to prevent any kind of event or actually educate other people. Educate or instruct, doesn't matter how you want to call that. And storytelling to me is one of my favorite as a in the book genre. I love memoirs. That's the best. Like I'm already three down this year of memoir autobiography because there's a lot to there is such an amazing potency when you hear someone's story and you want to listen and hear and understand what they are going through and what are where they came from as well and where they are now. And it's all that comes from storytelling. And it's a big part of me that I feel like storytelling I got it diluted a little bit because I forgot to do it. Because I got swamped or drowned into the word messaging. I personally found the word messaging extremely challenging to understand. And I was saying to myself, is it because I'm not English speak like I'm not native in English and I need to understand what that means in that language? Because in French, messaging would be message, and message, like I don't know, it feels doesn't mean the same thing in English and in French. So I had to go and like I remember at the beginning of hearing that word, spending hours and hours on just trying to understand even the word, so I can from that word I could make sense of it and work with it. And with all the time that I spent understanding it, the more it felt like I was going in understanding it, the less I felt I understood it. And my big revelation feel like such a expensive understanding of messaging is storytelling. We as marketer, like if you have a business, you're a marketer, you're marketing your business, you're selling your offers. And that's the reason we could probably put this under the messaging. But I personally found that the word that resonates better with me is storytelling. Storytelling gives you emotions. Storytelling makes you immerse yourself into someone else's shoes, and you can either identify with the stories or resonate with some of part of the stories, or empathize with what they went through. And when I'm saying like with the big stories of like trauma and abuse and all of that in the memoirs they might read, but there is also within your business, storytelling is all about what is like we have lessons to be learned in this earth. And when we have a business, I do feel like the lesson are in a way feels harsher because they are faster. Instead of like having all your life to integrate them, you have to fast forward all of those lessons so you can actually fast forward and be creating the empire, the business that you desire to create. And also not just create but rise and scale to 7+ figures. So in storytelling, I personally believe that anything that happened in your personal life has a lesson to tell you for your personal life, but there's also a lesson for your business. In your business, you have offers, And those offers have a storytelling, have a reason why they exist, and also they have a link with your own life in many shape or form. Sometimes it's not extremely obvious, but there is still a lesson there. The newest lesson that I got over the weekend, I decided to embody my Bob the Builder, but I went Bob the Builder barefoot in one of the room in my house that is not finished. And in this room, there were one side of the room is full of cardboard boxes with the Empire Planner that you see on the back. And of course, the Empire Planner should not be in cardboard boxes. It should be in your home. It's been made for visionaries like you that are desiring to build an empire, to rise an empire, and wanting to have a non-digital tools like the Empire Planner to support you in your growth. There is meditation within it, and there is also reflection question as well, and a notebook section. So you have a planner, like daily planner, weekly planner, and a note section at the end. So it actually combines 3 products in one under one roof. So you only have to take that one with you when you go anywhere. So, and the other side of it is actually, it's an undone bathroom. So I had to climb over the bath because of the cardboard boxes that were too heavy for me. And at the end of this bath, there were leaning tiles on that bath, and I went over, it was all good, and then I went to do what I needed to do, playing plumber. I don't know when I did that. And when I was done, I only had one way out, was through the bath, where were the tile lining in. And there were a cardboard box that was not put correctly from my own self, like I did that mistake. And that cardboard knocked the tiles, that went straight onto my left foot. I cannot. If you ever had something fall on your foot that is extremely heavy, yeah, you know what I mean. My feet were throbbing. I started crying. It's like becoming erratic because I was like, there is no way out. I was like, there is a wall of cardboard boxes that is too heavy for me to move because my feet is throbbing, and I literally cannot walk, put too much pressure on that foot at that moment. So my partner came and just play Hulk and just shoveled all the boxes out. I was like, okay. Afterwards, I was like, what is the lesson for that story? What is the lesson of that particular incident? Thank goodness my feet was actually fine. I thought it was broken, and it's not, thank God. I can walk again, which is amazing. But a side note as well is my partner playing Hulk actually broke his toes last week. So we were I was like, oh no, I broke my toes and he broke his toes. So I'm going to be working, having us, the support system we have here is myself and my partner, because we're living overseas from our families, because we're both French and our families are over in France. I was like, I need to find the moral of the story, the personal moral of the story. First of all, don't do this. It's first of all, don't walk in the construction site bare feet, and make as much caution as you can take. If the boxes are too heavy, find someone to support you in moving them if you need to. But I wanted to play kind of MacGyver in some ways. I was like, I can't do it. Anyway, that was a personal story. But in the business moral is, we are making decision. Sometimes we'll make silly decision, and silly decision will snowball into something that could be cataclysmic in some ways. It doesn't have to be a massive tsunami, but it could be something that extremely wavering within your own business. At that moment that we need to work on, we need to have the support system. We need to have those systems to support us. And in business, support system can be the tech part of the support system. When you get an influx of people coming in your business, do you have opportunities? Do you welcome them all? it's usually quite easy to find to kind of creating an offer. But what is the what is the next step of that offer? What is the like, let's say you had 100 people wanting to go into your offer. Like, I'm not saying that your offer is open for 100 people, but like you had 100 people that wanted to come. And what is the tech system that you need to put in place to allow those people to be served correctly? Will they all go into your offer? Maybe not, but they need to be served at the same level. Sometimes it brings to having a form to fill out, so you can weed out the people that are not the right person for that offer, but you can know from that form in sending them to other offers within your own suite that is going to support them in where they are at the moment. Maybe not that offer, but another one that is actually could be higher or lower. It doesn't really matter. The system as well is personal system, is the team that you have. It doesn't have to be a team of 20 or 15 or whatever. You could be only have one person, but it's great whenever you get the possibility to grow your business to have one person on hand. It could be a VA, a PA, a social media manager, whatever feels right to you. And I personally feel like if you can actually find someone that is either can fit as you're starting, as you are starting growing your team, finding someone that can be either can be both an OBM and a VA, because when you start to grow, that person will be the anchor of your business, and you can get other people under that person. And OBM can be also called COO, chief operating something, I can't remember, but anyway, OBM is operating business manager. And when you are starting like that, you have that support system. So if something fails if something you cannot do on your own, you have someone that you can rely on that can support you and alleviate sometimes some part of the cataclysmic tsunami that's happening in your business. Not saying when it's highly cataclysmic you should ask an employee to do, a contractor or an employee to do that, but sometimes it's something that it's happening right now, it's hot, and you are not in a capability to do that, and the person is. It's about leaning on to their own talent and gifts, so they can support you in helping stabilize everything. And of course, you do have to make those decisions. There is one thing that I personally the mistakes that I've done within my own business. In many ways, we'll sit down and we'll say, this was an expensive mistake. And usually when we say expensive mistake is where we see the money coming out of the business and do not maybe bring what we set expectation towards. So I spend that money and I expect it to come from that investment whatsoever. But there is also a huge mistake that yet we don't see the expensive mistake of not hiring when we get over the top, when we get to have a little bit too much on our plates, or something that we don't actually think is where in your business there is something that you absolutely despise. So as you despise it, you might choose one option, the first option of delaying to the last minute, whenever you're to the last minute, or never do it, even though you are supposed to do it. Your obligation as a business owner being registered. And you could also just decide to despise it, and you're just doing it so little by little by little, so it actually feels like it's dragging for days, month and all. And the third option is mixing both, really disliking this, leaving it to the last moment and dragging it, immediately throwing tantrum and fist on the floor because you don't want to do it. This is where you actually, it's an expensive decision that you're making, because as you are setting yourself towards a task that needs to be done within your business, but that you don't want to do it. And I want to actually put a caveat. There is part of your business you need to at least be good at whenever you are in your business. You need to be good at, because selling has to be a skill that you have to hone. Storytelling has to be a skill that you have to own. Creating offers is a skill that you got to own, because that's the creative side of your business. But there's also a side of your business that don't require that creative side of you, or that executive side of you, that making decision. And the one that comes to my mind right now is doing your accounting. It's like something that I dread to do for years, that I actually left it to the last few weeks when I got an email from my accountant saying it's time, and I had to find a year worth of invoice that were like, some of them were 18 months ago, and it's just a nightmare when you do that. This is not me anymore, but I remember those days. How many pieces of content you have on your phone? How many pieces of written content? How many, maybe you might just do videos like me, and those videos never see the day of light of day, because you feel like, oh, they need to be edited, and editing is a dread for you. You need to, like, there's so many reasons that they don't get out. So you can make the decision of like getting them out the way they are, and it's an option. You can of course do. It's extremely authentic when you do it this way. But sometimes with all the the like and the end, those words, you might want to take them out. So you might end the so as well. You might want to take them out and edit that. If you are dreading editing and you're not putting that content out because of that, you are completely withering your own capacity to support other people and impact other people as well. Those are two examples, and of course I'm sure you have other ones. As a photographer, in some podcasts I told you about editing, also like location booking and all of those kind of things. It's all about you like finding what is the dread, and sometimes we are more afraid of having someone that is capable of doing it than actually than just the financial side of it. It's like we are so close to our businesses, so actually feeling like we have to give away a little bit of us or of the business to someone else, it's the most challenging part, because inside of you are working into becoming an industry of one, and as you want to become an industry of one, having other people makes no sense, even though an industry of one is an industry of one brand, one personal brand. The personal brand doesn't have to be only you. The personal brand is your face, is your creation, is your execution, but then there's a lot of things that you can outsource to support you in your growth. And most of the time you can find amazing, reliant people, and it doesn't cost you like the earth. It actually makes you money, because it's all of the time you don't have to put within your business, and it's all this time that you're reclaiming for creation, being more available for your client, and also that intuition, execution, and action taking as well within your own business. When we turn this back into the storytelling as well, is when we are listening to someone else's story or storytelling, because sometimes it's about someone else's story, there is a huge emphasis of us wanting to listen and understand and hear from the beginning to the end, because we love rags to riches in some ways. It doesn't have to be rags to riches. It could be challenges to success. It could be whatever you want to put this on this umbrella. But it's when we are coming back to the storytelling of where we want to go, there is a big we can find story in every little thing of our life. It could be even making breakfast. You could find something. But by doing this, you're not actually creating, you are knocking down walls of, by default, we're creating that. It's just a human thing. We're putting people on pedestals. There is like some unconscious hierarchy when we are looking at other people. When those people come with stories, you get to identify with some of the stories, or you empathize, or whatever you want, like whatever the story is about. But when we actually lean into this, that hierarchy is completely shattered, because it's like, oh, that could have been me because I've done this, going in the bathroom barefoot with tiles, like leaning on the wall, not very safe. With storytelling as well, you also get to share a story or your story. Bring on your own personality and really lean into your own authentic self. When we are leaning into our authentic self through storytelling, there is a huge part of us that show our own authority, because we can actually laugh over a silly mistake we made. We can actually try to understand why maybe we were upset by something and understand the lesson with this. When we are working actively to find the lesson within everything. First of all, personally, we are growing because we understand the lesson. And when we understand the lesson, there's I always do not say it correctly, but C.J. Young has a phrase that is beautiful. I invite you to go and have a look. But I think it says, when you make the unconscious conscious, it no longer rules your life. I think it's something like that. I'm paraphrasing. When we actually look at what happened, whatever emotion that we went through, usually it's pain, it's like something uncomfortable, and we are taking conscious decision to understand the lesson. There is first a lesson that is there and the lesson can be told with storytelling, and also with your grit, whatever the tone you are. It could be sultry as well. But it's all about bringing that authenticity of you within the story, within what you want, like what is the story, what is the moral of it. And I really would love to invite you to have a look at this. Is there anything in your life lately that has happened to you and you may not have taken the time to understand what is the lesson behind it, and what that lesson is this lesson could be taught to someone else within your audience? Is this lesson can be turned into a story tell, so you can actually creating something from your own lesson, and like some people really resonating with it. It's something I would love to invite you to do. And of course, if that happens to you, like not the food thing, but if you had a lesson that happened and like comes to your mind when you're listening to that, I'd love to hear from you in the comment section of this video, because I love to hear from you. I love to understand where you're at, because it's not just me talking through the phone. It's really me trying to support you in the growth of your business through these videos. And sometimes as well with the storytelling, there is one, like we don't really understand what is the moral, or we feel like the moral story is far-fetched. But for me, I'm always like, I'm going to refer back to the story I told you about my foot throbbing with tiles falling onto it, and talking to you about the support system. Support system is also allowing you to crumble. We will make silly decisions in our business. It's how we grow. The silly decision with support, it's not a trap. It's all about this decision. Sometimes we make silly decision because we think it's a shortcut, and it's not. It's the story. But it's when we are understanding that sometimes we'll try the shortcuts, because it's also part of taking risk. It's all about having a way to know that you have a foundation that's going to support you. And this is where Anchored falls perfectly into your life. Anchored is a 4 weeks mastermind with me and only 6 women. And within it, we're going to work into embodying your own authority, working on creating detachment with your pricing. So you can set a pricing and feel extremely neutral with that price, because it's a lot of emotion with pricing usually, and money. It's always a lot of emotion with this. But if we're actually turning into like working with the tools I'm going to support you with, creating that detachment is going to support you a lot to creating offers and pricing that feels extremely neutral, and it's not about a price. Like, you're not going to get stuck in the price. You're going to really see the value of what you're offering. It's one thing, but also it's about creating that offer suite that it feels extremely delicious, pleasurable for you, that lights you up, So when you come forward and you talk about it, it's already feel like you already have storytelling within it. You already have that authentic self showing up, because your offer suite is some ways an extension of your teachings. It's an extension of you, the personal brand, not you, the personal brand you, and that evolution of where you want to take your clients to go, and it's the transformation you want to get them. With Anchored, you're going to leave with the tools to create a beautiful offer suite that's going to be pleasurable for you and really something you feel excited to talk about. Going to set up the prices for them that they're set in stone. Like, of course, price can change, but like they are neutral in that sense, set in stone. It's like they are on stone. There is no attachment. They're just there. The price is price. And also working with our own body to really reclaim our own power, so we can shine with our own deep magnetic authority. And magnetic authority is different for everyone. It's not just my way is not the way. It's the way you are is your way. And I might be like, I'm usually extremely, like, talk a lot of my hands. I like to crack weird jokes. It's my way. It doesn't have to be yours. But it's all about how we anchor, haha, pun not intended, but it's actually good. How we anchored with our own power, with our own authority, so we can create the offer suite that is pleasurable for us, pleasurable for our clients, and create transformation and impact for them. It's all about that. And Anchored it's a very intimate space. So you're going to also meet other women within this mastermind that's you're going to go through amazing things. I've been to masterminds, and like I know that the short mastermind are usually the most powerful one, because we invested because there's a very short time. And there's a lot of quantum leap happening in a very short amount of time. So I invite you to Anchored. We're going to start on the 3rd of March, 3/3/25. I'm really excited to start with you in that. If you're interested in Anchored, contact me on Instagram, and we're going to go to some back and forth so I can see if Anchored is the best place for you. And then you will have access to the link and join us. To next person that join Anchored, you also have the opportunity to have a 60 minutes private call with me. And I have something if you are in the first two, I have something else as well that I will only tell you if you contact me, because that's a little mystery offer. Anyway, I will leave you with this today. I'm looking forward to hear from you for the storytelling part, but also if you're interested to join Anchored, it's going to be a fabulous 4 weeks together, where you will get to help you, support you in your growth, creating that next level offer suite, next level pricing, and next level authority, which for me is the foundation. Coming back to the storytelling, the support system that's going to help you grow and scale to multiple 6 figures. So with all of that, I wish you a good day, and I talk to you till the next one. Bye.